Welcome back. So last week we got on the subject of triggers, and like I said last week, you're going to be hearing this word a whole lot because everybody and their mother says this word. Don't even know what it means, but they say this word to you 1,000 times. So hopefully you followed my suggestions last week, and you decided to think of your individual triggers and hopefully some of your big ones and what you should avoid, because that is your number one way of coping with them, is to avoid them all at once. So and so obviously there's some you can't avoid. um, like having a payday if you're on working. I mean, obviously you're gonna have a payday. Or uh, certain days of the week, certain times of the day. um, Shoot, anything. I mean, there's a lot of them that's unavoidable. The main point that I was trying to get through last week is what we're going to be talking about this week, is how to cope with those. Is that I wanted you to try to remember and focus on the individual ones for you, and now the bad ones for you, because having them in your mind and being ready for them, knowing when they're going to happen, has been really key for me. When I've been blindsided by them, that's when I've had the tougher time of keeping myself from wanting to use um, stuff that I really never really thought about, and then because you're going to have those, and that's why you need to learn, some thought stopping techniques to deal with those. Basically, the reason why triggers are so important is because what they do is, and to bring up my other analogy of an abusive ex, what they do is they start a conversation with between you and your abusive ex in your head. Is literally what it does. And anybody that's ever been in an abusive relationship knows that that is a scenario that you absolutely you never want to happen, because they're going to promise you the world. They're going to say, oh, I'm changed. I'm a changed person, and I promise I will never hurt you again. I'll never be this way again. And or even worse, they'll bring up the worst or some of the best memories you had together before they became abusive. And like, oh, you remember that time when we went out camping and we just had to blast that whole weekend, and stuff like that, and they give you this sense of hope and feeling, and really in your mind that it starts talking yourself into using. That's why triggers are so dangerous, is because they open that door, they open that frame, because you can keep busy all day, you can keep your mind busy all day, but as soon as that trigger happens, it opens that thought in your brain, and just poof, you know what I mean? It's right there, and you have to deal with it right then and there. And there's no way of going around it. You have to deal with it. You have to do something about it. And basically, if you don't deal with it, then it starts going to your cravings, and then once you hit cravings, then you'll be wanting even more, and then that's how you relapse and go back to using. Basically, so what I want you to think about is, ways to come up with different ways to stop these thoughts in your head that when they happen, because triggers are going to happen. They're going to happen all the time. Some worse than others. Some are going to be easy for you. They're going to be easy for you just to not even think about, and just do away with it. And some are going to be incredibly difficult, and you're going to be your mind, your disease, in your head is going to do everything that it can possibly do. It's going to bring up everything about you. It's going to bring up everything that you love about your drug. It's going to bring up all your dark secrets in your head, everything you don't want out. It's going to bring up all of it can to make you go back to that abusive relationship with your substance. And so you have to be. That's the reason why I brought up triggers, is because you have to be ready for this. You have to be ready for that to happen, and it's imperative. That's the only way you can survive, and that's the only way you can continue to recover. You have to be, you know, 100% ready for these. You have to know what you're going to do beforehand and how you're going to stop these thoughts. And you can't just do nothing. You know, you can't. I mean, willpower alone isn't going to stop this stuff. You know, you have to make a plan. You have to make a plan to do something. So the problem is with me coming up with stuff is that each one of these triggers, I mean, they're different for every single person. So it's really it's really up to you. I mean, if I knew your situation, I could help you out. Um, you know, maybe if you wanted to post something down the line or comment something down there, I can maybe comment on something, maybe something to help you out with that. I can go over some examples. So, I mean, I got some paperwork here, got a little bit of examples on them. Some of the good ones are like, you know, for having a sizable amount of cash on you. One of the best ones on here is not even having an ATM card on with you. So, you know, as soon as your payday hits, you know, if you have no way of getting your money out, you know, that's going to stop that thought in your head pretty quickly, isn't it? Yeah, other ones is having your wife check on your content in your wallet every morning, so that way you have some sort of credibility and responsibility there. Um, you can always try to avoid triggers. You can try to try new stuff. I mean, you can really. What I do is I immediately pause whenever I start thinking about drugs in general, and as soon as these thoughts enter my head, I stop what I'm doing and I focus on what I'm thinking, and I tell myself that it's all a lie. Every bit of it's a lie. Because if any of it was true, I wouldn't even be here talking to you on this. I wouldn't be on this phone right now talking to you on posting it on YouTube, trying to help other people, right? I mean, if I could live my whole entire life using drugs every day, I would have no reason to stop, right? I mean, if it wasn't interfering with my life, if it wasn't screwing over my life or ruining my body, if it wasn't, you know, killing all my friends, if it wasn't doing all that, then I'd have no reason to stop, right? You know. So obviously, it ain't working. What you're doing, what I was doing, what all my friends were doing, it's not working. What we've been saying, what we've been doing every single day of our lives, trying to struggle through this addiction, is not working. So the only way out is through, and you just gotta learn. You know what I mean? You gotta learn that you know that these are all lies. It's all lies. All this is your addiction. You know, that's not you telling you that. This ain't you saying this stuff to you, saying like, hey, you know, let's go have a great time with this drug. It's your addiction wanting to control you, to tell you to do this stuff. That's what when this pops in my head, that's the first thing that pops in my mind anymore. Is that no, you know, this ain't me saying this. This is my disease saying this, and that so immediately that makes me say no, and it stops the thought process. If I ever do have cravings for it, I really realize that cravings only last maybe tops 15 minutes. The strongest cravings you'll have will last 15 minutes. So the best course of action there is just to keep busy, do something, keep busy, and work on it out. I mean, work with working on it out. Work with it, and just go exercise, go for a walk, take deep breaths. Brittany's going. You can actually wait out cravings. You can just sit there and wait out cravings for 15 minutes. If you're strong enough to do that. One of the best ways is talking about it. Hopefully you got some sort of support system around you. Talk to them about it. Do whatever you can. Um, to get it out. Because the more you get out and talk about everything that you're going through, the more you talk about your triggers, the more likely somebody is to help you to avoid them. The more you talk about the thoughts in your brain at that time, whenever those triggers happen, the more likely someone is to help you to stop you from falling down that path. That's the reason why a good support system is one of the key things. It's what makes and breaks a lot of people. And so, I mean, hopefully you keep those people around and you tell them the truth. That's why I talked about truthfulness and before, is that you gotta stop lying to people. You gotta stop telling. You gotta start telling them the truth, everything that's going on with you, in order to win. In order to win through this, um, I'm gonna go through some. I'm gonna look at some of these here and see what they suggest for some of the thought stopping things. Which I kind of got to laugh at these, but I'm gonna go over them anyways because they might help somebody. So, um, says there's two different steps. There's visualization, snapping, relaxation, and then step two would be moving to a safe place and engage in activities that distract yourself from a risky thought, like which is calling somebody, which is what I was talking about a second ago, talking to somebody, taking a shower, going exercising, whatever. For step one, the visualization, it says imagine a scene in which you deny the power of thoughts of use. For example, picture a switch or a lever in your mind. Imagine yourself moving it from on to off to stop the using thoughts. Have another picture ready to think about in place of these thoughts. So, like a light switch that's on. So when you're thinking about using, it's on. And you want to think about switching it to off and then immediately switching it to puppies or cats or whatever, anything different. Snapping is it says wear a rubber band loosely on your wrist. Each time you become aware of thoughts of using, snap the rubber band and say no to the thoughts as you make yourself think about another subject. Have a subject ready that is meaningful and interesting to you. And see, relaxation, which is what I talked about a second ago. Breathe in deeply, filling lungs with air, and breathe out slowly. Do this 3 times. You should be able to feel the tightness leaving your body. Repeat this whenever the feeling returns. Those are the 2 steps that's in this, paperwork that I'm reading here about, thought stopping. Um, so, but I mean, like I said before, I mean, hopefully you wrote down, you listened to me, you got a notebook, you wrote down your triggers, and you wrote down some sort of way that you can stop those from happening, and you just avoid them altogether. And because if this stuff stays in your mind 24/7, you're going to use. You got to change. They always say change people, places, and things. Now, I personally, changed a lot of people in my life. I don't go to any of the places I used to go to anymore. Matter of fact, I rarely even leave the house anymore. Um, I definitely don't do any of the things I used to do anymore. Like breaking the law or anything like that. I don't talk to anybody that used anything before anymore. It's not that. I mean, I just pushed them away. I was just honest. Like I said, I was completely honest and truthful with them. Told them like, look, I'm quitting. I'm not gonna look back this time. And but we're still friends. If you ever need me, I'm always gonna be there for you. But I'm just not gonna be part of this life no more. And you really have to believe that, 100% believe that. That's why leading up to this video, I posted the video about me, what I say to myself every morning, because I make myself believe that every morning, that this is the best outcome of my life that I can have, is to get off this stuff, and to be, like I said, be truthful, be who I was before the drugs, because who I was on the drugs, I hated, and everybody else hated, and I lost everybody that I ever cared about, except for my immediate family, because of drugs, and really because of fentanyl. And so, anyways, that's really what I want to cover today. I hope this helps out. I know it's really all over the place today. Um, Make sure you subscribe. Like it, if you all that stuff. Hit the bell so that way each week you get my video update. Share it to all the people that need help. And like I said, if you want to, comment some of your triggers down there if you're having trouble avoiding them or don't know what to do. I will always be there to help anybody that needs help with it. But thank you all.